My name is Aaron May, I'm 23 years old and I have an MA in Electroacoustic Composition from the University of Bristol. I moved a couple of days ago from Bristol to Hackney in London. This, by the way, is the reason for the perhaps ironically bad audio quality of this video, as my equipment is still in Bristol. Why sound post-production? Well, through music I got really into sound and timbre itself. I brought myself a Zoom handheld recorder and just went around recording sounds that I found interesting. Then when I went to university I got into electroacoustic composition, which is essentially taking everyday objects into the studio, recording them, editing them, manipulating them, and then putting them together to create narratives and soundscapes. While doing that, I also began noticing that there was actually quite a lot of interesting sound on television and films, and thought it could be an area that I'd like to get into. So when I finished university, I did some work experience at a post-production house called Films 59 in Bristol. Shadowed quite a lot of various areas of post-production like Foley, shadowed some editors, shadowed some mixers, and I just really loved the experience. And realised it was an area that I'd love to get into. The soundtrack which has really caught my ear in the last 2 years would be that of a series called Utopia, which aired on Channel 4. The reason being it was full of really nicely detailed Foley work and sound design. A lot of it was shot in this big creaky old house which had lots of nice creaky sounds, lots of nice rusty sounds, and the sound designer often chose to focus in on sounds which you wouldn't normally hear. Which really added to the tension. You weren't quite sure what sounds were diegetic, what sounds were part of the musical soundtrack. It was just a soundtrack which was full of tension and really added to the scene.